Okay, we're solving nonlinear inequalities. In this case, we're going to do exercises a little bit more complex. We're not just going to use a single factorization method. We're going to use more than one method. The main process is the same. We need to move everything to the left side. In this case, we're not going to need to move anything because everything is going to be already on the left side. We're going to factor up and down. We're going to identify critical and forbidden values. We're going to create a table of variation of signs. And based on that table, we're going to write the answer by checking which inequality symbol we have, which will determine which sign we need to focus on. Remember, we need to know already how to factor polynomials. If you don't know how to factor polynomials, you need to practice with a previous video or a previous lesson. These are the factoring methods you need to focus on learning in case you don't know them yet. So let's go to the exercises. This is not a factoring methods lesson, so we're going to go quickly and we're going to use the factoring methods assuming you already know how to use them. So in this case, we have two trinomials that we can easily factor by guessing numbers. We just need to think on the numbers, and on top we would have x minus 6 times x plus 2, because minus 6 times 2 is minus 12, and minus 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Over bottom I need 24, and the addition needs to be 11. That will be with x plus 8 and x plus 3. Greater than or equal to 0. Okay. We already factored. Now we need to find the critical values and the forbidden values. So let's see those values in particular. So critical values, we obtain them by equalizing this thing to 0, every parenthesis. So x minus 6 equals 0. I move this to the other side. And notice that I get the same number, only that changing the sign. Now, this only happens when the x has no number attached to it. So in order to avoid this process, we can simply just put the opposite number and we'll be fine as long as the x doesn't have anything weird in there. So critical values will be in this case positive 6 and negative 2. The forbidden values are the ones at the bottom. Forbidden values in this case will be negative 8 and negative 3. With those values, we're going to have to build a table of values. So my table of values is going to have to include those 4 parentheses. So let's go this way. We have 1. We have 2. Oh, this is way too. Okay, this would work as a table. I'm gonna put the parentheses in here. So x minus 6, x plus 2, x plus 8, x plus 3, and the answer. I can put fx or answer. I'm gonna put fx. Okay, so I'm gonna put negative infinity in here and positive infinity in here. Then the critical values and forbidden values, I'm going to put them, or going to place them in order in the table of variation of signs. So I'm going to start with negative 8, which is the lowest number I have in here, then minus 3, then minus 2, and finally 6. Once I have those numbers in order, I'm going to proceed to enclose or find the 0 for each one of the parentheses with their corresponding value. So this one goes with this one. This one goes with this one. X plus 8 goes with negative 8. And x plus 3 goes with negative 3. So each one of these parentheses goes with their corresponding critical or forbidden values. Then we're going to cross the forbidden values. Okay? I need to cross them so that I remember that they are forbidden values. Then I know that, well, before or behind 0, I have negatives. That's how you fill the table. And after 0, I have positives. So I'm going to do that with every single line. So before or behind 0, I have negatives. After 0, I have positives. Before 0, I got negatives. After 0, I got positives. Before 0, I have negatives. After 0, I have positives. what I'm going to do in order to find the signs of the answer is I'm going to multiply signs vertically. So in here I have minus times minus will be plus, times minus will be minus, times minus will be plus. So I multiply all of these minuses, and that gave me an answer of plus. The symbol for forbidden, I'm going to copy it again. Then I multiply these signs. This will be negative. I copy the sign for forbidden. I multiply this ones, which will give me positive. Then I keep going, 0 in here. I have a problem with the 0, how to locate it. This will be negative, 0, and this will be positive. How do I know? I multiply the sign. So minus times plus minus times plus minus times plus minus. That's the answer. Yeah. So I finished the table of variation of signs. What I need to do now is focus on the inequality of the original exercise. Okay. If you look at the inequality, what I'm having here is greater than or equal to 0, which means I'm looking for the pluses, which are the graders, and I'm looking for the zeros. Okay. So I'm gonna focus on writing the answers of the pluses, and wherever I get a 0, I'm gonna close. So solution set would be equal to, I have a plus in here. Where is this plus? It's between minus infinity and minus 8. So infinities, we never close them. And minus 8. I don't close minus 8 because minus 8 is forbidden. You'd never close the forbidden values. Okay? Union. Next plus I have in the answers. The next plus is this one. It's between minus 3 and minus 2. So minus 3 open because it's a forbidden value. And minus 2 is going to be closed. Why? Because the extra mark tells me I close where I get zeros. If there were no extra mark, I'm going to leave everything open. The last plus, this one, is between 6 and plus infinity, so union. 6 is 0, so it's closed. And it goes positive all the way until positive infinity. That will be the answer of the exercise. So let's do the next one. Let's do this one. So what do we have here? We have a trinomial with main coefficient different than 1. So I'm going to have to use scissors method. Okay, 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Oh, not equals 0, sorry. Just this. How do I get 2x squared? Well, 2x times x. How do I get negative 3? Well, 1 times negative 3. I cross multiply. My objective is to get this one. So let's see, what do I get? I get in here x, and I get in here minus 6x. Those two together will give me negative 5x. So yes, I have the right ones. So this will be 2x plus 1, and this will be x minus 3. If you did not understand this, go study scissors method. There's a video about this, okay? I will not explain scissors method in this video. Next one. Well, we have more than 3 terms. We have 4 terms. So that means I'm going to have to use grouping method. Okay, so x3 plus 5x2 minus 4x minus 20. Well, x2 is repeating, so x2 goes outside. That will leave me with x plus 5. Minus 4 is repeating, so minus 4 outside. That will leave me with x plus 5. X plus 5 is repeating, so x plus 5 goes outside. And x squared minus 4 stay inside parentheses. Now this thing is something I can factor with difference of squares, which would lead me into an x plus 2 with an x minus 2. Okay, so it will be that x plus 5 times x plus 2 times x minus 2 less than 0. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna need to find critical values and forbidden values from this. So, which are the critical values? How do you find them? Well, since the first parenthesis has a number on the x, it's best if we copy it and we equalize it to 0. 2x plus 1 equals 0. 2x equals minus 1. X equals minus 1 over 2. So it is negative 1/2. Okay, negative 1/2 is one of the critical values. The other one doesn't have a number, so it's easy just to write the 3 negative but with the opposite sign, so it will be positive 3. Okay, the other ones, they don't have numbers on the x, so they're simple. I just change the sign. It will be -5, -2, and +2. Those are the values. With those values, I'm going to create a table of values. So I'm going to create it in here. I have 5 values, 2 critical and 3 forbidden. So I need to create a table that contains 5 lines for every parenthesis, plus an extra line for the answer. And I need to put in between columns, I need 5 lines or 5 vertical bars for the column. So I'll do that thing. Okay, midway it will look like this. Let's first fill the table with the parentheses. Okay, then we're gonna make the columns so that you can see how we are supposed to place the columns. 2x plus 1 is one of them. The other one is x minus 3. The other parenthesis was x plus 5, x plus 2, x minus 2. And in here I can write answer or fx. I would prefer writing fx, but we know that this is basically the answer. Okay, I have minus infinity in here, and I have plus infinity in here. In between, I need to make vertical lines. Now, those vertical lines, I need to make them, or I need to make a vertical line per value. Since I have 5 values in here, I need to make 5 vertical lines. So, 1 vertical line, 2 vertical lines, 3 vertical lines, 4 vertical lines, and 5 vertical lines. Okay, so 5 vertical lines done. And I need to write the values, both critical and forbidden, in order. So from the lowest number, which will be -5, I keep going to the next number, which will be -2, then -1/2, then +2, and finally 3. Now I'm going to match every critical forbidden value with its corresponding parenthesis. So critical value with corresponding. Well, this one's forbidden, right? So this one goes with this one. -2 goes with +2. Be very careful. Don't get confused which one goes with which one. So be very careful with that. This one goes with this one. X minus 3 goes with +3. And 2x plus 1 goes with -1/2. Okay, now the forbidden values, I need to make a special mark with them so that I know that they are forbidden values. There we go. Now we are going to fill the table. Before 0 I put minus. After the 0 I put plus. Before 0 I put minus. After the 0 I put plus. Before 0 I put minus. After the 0 I put plus. And you keep going there. Okay, then you're going to multiply the signs. Okay, I have 5 negatives. If I multiply them, that will give me negative. I copy the symbol for forbidden. Then I have 4 negative signs. If I multiply the 4, it will give me positive. I copy the forbidden value sign. And I have 3 negatives. If I multiply them, I will get negative. I copy the 0. 2 negatives will give me a positive. I copy the forbidden. 1 negative is, well, 1 negative. 0. And no negatives is basically plus. Then I'm going to write the answer. The answer of the exercise s dot equals. I need to check what am I looking for. Okay, I'm looking for less than 0. That means I'm looking for minus. Okay, I'm going to focus on minus. Notice that there is no extra mark, so everything is going to be open. I don't need to worry about closing anything. Everything is open. I just need to focus on the minuses. Okay, this minus is between minus infinity and -5. Everything is open. Then the next minus is between -2 and -1/2. So -2, -1/2. And the last minus is between 2 and 3. So union 2 and 3. Everything is open because there is no special extra mark in this. That's how you solve nonlinear inequalities.